According to Comscore, the total online video consumption in India has doubled in the past 2 years to 3.7 billion videos per month. This dramatic growth has been driven by a sizable increase in the number of online video viewers in addition to increased consumption per viewer. The total online video audience in India has grown 72% and, believe it or not, stands tall at 54 million viewers today, with the average viewer watching 18% more videos and spending 28% more time viewing videos online. And these numbers are what have encouraged a large number of online video content creators to crop up in the Indian market. Tara Kapoor spoke to a host of these players to understand the genres they've chosen, what it takes to cut it in the space, and the big picture going forward. Take it away.
You're watching Bollywood Hangover?
Have this 3 times a day and gargle your mouth with normal water.
Original music videos by unknown artists, homemade Ayurvedic remedies, and budding comedic talent. Content creation in niche genres is what a lot of Indian entrepreneurs are diving into, given the infinite possibilities of the digital landscape. Ever since YouTube opened its doors to its partner program in the Indian market, video content has got a new lease of life. But why the focus on niches, and what's the long-term bet?
There's a huge explosion in terms of access devices in India and across the world, and slowly we're seeing a fairly lowering of price points for data costs as well. So obviously the factors that would have influenced the growth of this space were coming into place. The on-demand content consumption is on the rise. We have seen this in the US with the rise of platforms like Netflix. YouTube is an absolutely great example of that. So there was certainly an opportunity to become one of the first movers in this space as far as India went.
Differentiation. That's what most of these players are punting on.
Shopping is a natural body reflex.
And while Ayurveda and Indian food aren't exactly unique in India per se, on a global platform, high-quality, well-produced content in these areas are sparse.
So the ingredients required for making the puri is?
And without the burden of distribution that plagues television broadcasters, these players get a large chunk of its subscribers from the global market. For instance, almost 65% of HomeVeda.com's 96,000 subscribers are from other countries like the US, UK and Australia. It's a similar situation for Yoboho's yoga channel, where approximately 75% of its 33,000 subscriber base aren't Indian. And finally, there's Sting's India Food Network, where 70% of their 11,000 subscribers are from global markets.
There's a huge opportunity on the entertainment side, but that is also a far more riskier space to get into. So we said, let's look at a space which is distinctive, unique, where we can build some level of competency and scale. So some data says that 69% of people who on the internet use the internet for some sort of search on a health-related issue, either for themselves or for their friends and family. So ultimately, the internet is going to be about 5 billion people. We're talking about a potential audience of 3.5 billion people.
What we're seeing is a reaction from content creators who know a certain niche or a certain specialty very well, and they're able to build a relatively big audience even around a niche content. And we're seeing this large growth of people finding the content they want, even if it's a niche area, we think from a more global perspective, but it actually has a large audience if you think about the people who actually want that content itself.
While one set of content creators are focused on niches, another clutch of players are betting heavily on the Indian youth. Yoboho, one of the first movers in the space, already has 65 different channels and provides content across categories like Bollywood and Hollywood news. More recent entrants, such as One Network, Samara Movies, and The Viral Fever, are also following a similar route, focusing on content like comedy and short films, genres they believe will explode in the medium term. The other youth-centric fields these players are looking to delve into are lifestyle and music. Increasing the number of segments they play in is something that almost all these players are working on currently, and the plan is to launch at least 2 to 3 new channels in the coming year.
In this space, it's more about width than about depth because of your ease of difficulty. The way these platforms work is the more number of channels you have, the easier for you to search for them and the easier for you to find content rather than having lots of deep content. So within comedy itself, we probably can break that up into 10 or 15 different channels. And similarly, within every genre, you can actually go horizontal and have a large network of online channels. For you to actually create some barrier of entry, and especially in this space, the only thing which I think can actually be a barrier is bulk, is the amount of content that you create, so that for anyone else to reach that space is going to be difficult. Either they acquire content from somewhere else, various players, or from you, or it's going to take them time to reach that space.
Subscribe to our channel to receive updates. Then we upload more videos.
Still very early in their life cycle, with subscriber bases ranging from 10,000 to 100,000, the biggest hurdle for these players is to keep costs at bay. Keeping production costs at bare minimum is the key to ensure any sort of profitability. A case in point being Home Veda. This Ayurvedic home remedy channel incurred a setup cost of about 70 lakhs, but ensures that all videos are being produced within 5 to 6,000 rupees. Promoting its videos to push traffic to its channel is one of the major costs, which stands at about 4 lakhs a month. Home Veda rakes in approximately 5.5 lakh rupees as revenue from YouTube every month, covering its operational costs. And the plan going forward is to get an investor on board to expand its horizons and go from being a single channel to becoming a health and wellness hub. Yogaho, which took off in 2007, managed to break even in 4 years by keeping its per video cost to 2,000 to 3,000 rupees. It's probably one of the only channels that's profitable right now, with its 65 channels earning around 50 lakh rupees per month from YouTube alone.
In order to get our production costs in place, we work with newer talent. So that's the first step in lowering your budget. Second, we don't have to have the best equipment to produce this content. You have actually cheaper equipment. You're getting cheaper HD cameras, and we have our own studio facility. So we actually can subsidize any new. We can actually subsidize the cost for any new producer.
The current monetization models don't pay for the kind of costs that go into creating this content, which is why you'll find a lot of players have started somewhere and moved towards more cost-friendly genres. One of the things that we've done, therefore, is we've actually created our own facility and our own studio, which allows us to produce at will, which allows us to go in and kind of create at costs which are much lower than what we would have otherwise spent on creating. And also, we are working on throwing the studio open to other creators and share revenues. So that's another way that we're seeing that we can actually bring the costs down.
DTH players like Tata Sky and Airtel already have a internet connection capability in their boxes. So to a viewer, what will happen is that you will get a seamless experience, right? You will be able to switch between India Food Network and IPL and something else.
Globally, online video reaches about 80% of the total online audience. In developed markets, this goes above 90%. And in India, the trend is catching up.
In terms of the overall online population, India has about 15 to 16% penetration of the overall population. And video is again 70% of that. So I see that first there will be increased adoption by the existing online users itself, and then further that number, the ever increasing number, probably crossing 200 million or 250 million in the next 2 years.
We see India as a very important market, one of our biggest markets around the world. In fact, if you look at our partner videos around the world, it ranks number 3 globally. So it's a very important market for YouTube.
And while the space is bound to get more crowded going forward, these online content creators are betting that their first mover advantage will propel them ahead of competition in the coming years.